All right, we are live. How's everybody doing? Welcome back to another day trading session on the NQ on the New York Open. I'm just gonna get my screen up real quick. We've literally just opened. I'm a little bit late. How's everyone doing today? I hope you're all doing really well and had a great weekend. Let's hit share. All right, we're back on it. Woo! What an open. Shut up. Thomas, good morning to you, my friend. How are you? How was your weekend? Con, good to see you. Everyone's in the chat. Beautiful stuff. Morning, Omar. Good to see you as well. How's all your weekends been? I hope it's been good. So I'm just going to mark up some zones real quick. Get these charts looking decent. So that's wrong. There we go. Clone that. And we've got a gap right at the top there. So we don't actually have any gaps in between. Heng Wong, good to see you. Amar, good afternoon to you as well. Great to see everybody in the chat on this Monday morning. Okay, so here's a really good example of something actually, real quick. So obviously I did a volume profile, this whole leg down we've had, for the last few days, whatever, right? But this retracement we've had so far, and it could be a reversal, could be a retracement, really hard to know at this point. But let's just say it's a retracement, doesn't really matter. You see how it created this gap as we pushed up. So this is definitely now a real area of interest, this little gap here. Should we ever, should we retrace and come back into it, I will very much be looking to, potentially buy. I mean, we have kind of shot off quite quickly on open, and just look at the volume on the open. Look at it, 3,000 on the buy side. It looks like it might be a bullish day today. It might be a bullish day. Good morning, Peter. Prashad, good morning. I'm very good. How are you, my friend? Louis. Hey, I just got a notification that CME is banning some countries for receiving market data. One of the affected countries, the UAE. Oh, really? Okay, I'm gonna have to research into that because that's a bit worrying news, isn't it? Can you share your NQ volume profile settings? Absolutely. So the settings are pretty much default. I have yet to actually do it on TradingView. I'm a bit late to the party today, so I'm just going to switch to the candlesticks, draw out all my zones, all that kind of good stuff. So 15-minute chart right now. Got the the fixed range volume profile. I'm going to do one. Well, first I want to see what happened actually on this move up. Right, so I'm going to do it from this move up, see if there's any kind of zones below that. Not really. We've kind of traveled through most of them, tested them all good. So I'm going to do this move down and mark out any kind of important zones. And we really don't have any zones further up. I mean, the main one that I'm really, you would really want to eye up is this one right here. I mean, just look at that. And the settings, Date Stom. Row size 24, up down volume, or it could be total volume, both the same. Value area set at 100, and its number of rows. So pretty much the default settings, I believe, except for the value area part. So pretty easy. And when I also do extend right sometimes, sometimes not. Depends on if it's like an area that's still kind of being created, I'll do extend right. If it's an area that it's like old, like this one, then I won't do extend right. Okay. Maybe get a VPS if that's a problem. Yeah, I think Lewis, if you're in the UAE and the CME, I mean, I'd be surprised that they'll do that, to be honest. I'm very shocked that they'll do that. You'll double check the source you heard that from, because that sounds a bit, do you know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, why would they ban not ban, but basically stop providing the data for UAE. That's just lost money from them. So it doesn't really make any sense to me, unless it's some sort of, restrictions. I don't know, but the UAE is a very trade friendly place. So I don't know. Like every trader in the world is like in Dubai right now. So yeah, I don't know. But real quick with the volume profile, this is the zone I'm really eyeing up for shorts. And even the one above it, this one here, that looks really, really nice. Whether we'll get there today, I mean, it's unlike, how many points away is that? You never know. Crazier things have happened. I mean, it is 400 points away. So it might be a bit unlikely we'll get there, but like at least today, but you never know. Crazier things have happened, right? There is a tiny little gap in volume here. Nothing. Now, this one I would mark out, and I would potentially want to take a scalp off it if the footprint looks superb. Okay, if the footprint really confirms it, I'll take it. If it doesn't, I'm going to pretty much ignore it. So this is kind of like a maybe zone for me. But apart from that, there's really nothing else. So we just kind of have to let the market push up, I guess. I can do one on this push up, and any kind of pullbacks I can long, off the pullbacks if any zones get created. But these zones are going to kind of move a little bit as the market moves, but it should be fine. I mean, we're getting to that first sort of maybe zone, so well worth kind of, keeping your eye on it. You never know. I don't even have it on Project X, to be honest. I don't know why. On Project X, it looks even worse, but you can. I mean, I'll mark it out, but I'm not expecting much on it, to be honest. I'll mark it out for the hell of it. Why not? And then I'll set a potential trade. Well, let's have a look. Raymond, salam to you, Raymond. Why the UAE? Yeah, that's why I don't understand. Hi, Sammy. Why is the value area not 70%? For me, because I want to look at the whole area, right? I want to look at the whole volume profile. It really doesn't matter much, because if you just make the value area 70, all it tells you, the value area just tells you where the majority of the volume is. So 70% of the most volume took place in where it's kind of not grayed out, essentially. So this area here. I can still use it, but I just keep it at 100 because I like it to have it uniform. And I'm not really too fussed about where the majority of the volume is. I'm more fussed about where the dips in volume are. So that's why I have it at 100, essentially. CME hasn't announced it officially yet, but TraderFi announced it with a communication they received from Ninja Trader. But I'm also very skeptical about it, especially Dubai. Yeah. I mean, maybe there's talks about it. Who knows? You never know. But I would be very shocked if it actually went through. I mean, they would be kind of shooting themselves in the foot, because you got to remember the UAE and Dubai, especially Dubai, it's trade central. People, like, there's so many trading companies there. There's so many traders. It is a real hub for that kind of activity. And you got people from all over the world who move to Dubai for obvious reasons, mainly tax reasons. And as a trader, if you're making good money, and why would you give so much away for tax? You move to a place like Dubai, or at least have your operations in Dubai officially. So it's kind of crazy that they would block that. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. Is your strategy also effective on gold? Absolutely. A volume profile works with any instrument, essentially, because as I explained in the video that I released, it's more of a measurement of time rather than volume. So it's very time based. So it works pretty much with any instrument. And talking about gold, I will be trading gold later on after this stream. So at 4 p.m., this stream will finish. That's 4 p.m. UK time, so in about an hour and 20 minutes. And I'll be going live on Ola Prime TV. I'll be sending the link in the chat where I'll be exclusively trading gold. Okay, so if you guys would like to watch that, I'll send a link in the chat. closer to time, and yeah, we'll be able to do that. UAE has more than 10 prop firms at least. Yeah, it's like it's such a hub for trading. Yeah, hopefully Dubai doesn't get restricted. I can imagine. I mean, because correct me if I'm wrong, but from my understanding, the UAE is obviously a country, the UAE, but Dubai is just essentially a city, right? The main kind of, it's not the main city. Technically, Abu Dhabi would be the main city, but Dubai is kind of the most famous one, and they have slightly different laws. Like you can own property as a foreigner, you can own property in Dubai, you can't own property in Abu Dhabi, Al Ain, or the other cities in the UAE. So there are. Oh, we just pulled back into that area. I missed it. Don't. This is why you're going to be so quick and so on point when you're scalping, because we just had a little pullback onto a little gap that was created as we moved up, and I mean that was beautiful the way it rejected, but I was too late. Abu Dhabi, you can. I say you can own property in Abu Dhabi. Okay. See, I always heard that only in Dubai you can, as a foreigner. But I might be completely wrong. But I believe they have different like laws in different areas. So maybe Dubai won't be affected. Other areas will. I don't know. But if it's just a rumor now, I wouldn't worry about it, to be honest. Nice. What charts do you have set up now? Thanks. What charts? What do you mean, Mikey? Is it just NQ at the moment? Just NQ. That's pretty much all I trade. But I will be trading gold later in a different stream on Ola Prime TV's channel. I will send a link. I'm just waiting for the team to send me that link. I think they're setting up the stream, and then I will put it in the chat. Do you mainly use the 50-minute chart to find your levels, or the 1-minute chart for entries? Exactly, Eric. Exactly that. I use 15-minute chart mostly to draw out the levels, and then on the 1-minute, I basically look for entries on the footprint, right? Just like what we had here happen. Now, annoyingly, that happened so quick, and we just tapped into that little zone. So yes, there was technically a trade there, but even if I was at the chart looking at it, I probably would have missed that because that happened lightning quick, right? But I would have looked at what happened right there, where the 28 is, the 11, what actually happened in real time. What were the numbers actually showing me in real time? But that happened so fast, realistically speaking. The only way you would have caught that trade is if you just front runned it. If you waited for any confirmation, the likelihood is by the time you got it, it would already happen. So that's why sometimes you do have to front run, you know. Time frames. Oh, okay. Time frames, 1 minute always pretty much. I've always got the 1-minute chart for the footprint. I only really use the 15-minute chart to draw out like the bigger areas for the volume profile. And that's pretty much it. And then I sometimes look at like the daily or something just to see where we are overall, but that's more for like a longer term bias. I don't really use that day to day so much. Lucy refunded every account from affected countries this morning, so I think it might be legit. Oh, sheesh. Well, that's shocking, man. That is really shocking. Cody, good morning, Sam. Looking forward to a great week. Me too. Me too. I hope you had a great weekend. Anatoly, good to see you. How are you, my friend? TR, hello, Sammy. First time being in the live stream. Going to follow your advice and start on MES. I'm new to order flow. Excellent stuff, TR. Excellent stuff. Really good to hear it. Absolutely. The ES, beautiful. I mean, if you're trading the order flow, though, like execute on the MES, because it's obviously micros, it's smaller, but look at the actual full E-mini ES footprint, all right? They're identical in terms of actual, structure. But I would say use the ES E-mini footprint, because the MES you're going to see numbers that are just so ridiculous sometimes, and it's not as heavily traded. It's a bit harder to read, right? But it's, yeah, like I always use the actual proper instrument, like the E-mini, for the footprint. And then, if I'm trading, like here I got the MNQ open to actually execute on, but I'm looking at the data from the actual NQ. Does that make sense? Right? Do you trade Bitcoin? Sadly, I don't trade Bitcoin. And again, the main reason for Bitcoin is just the data is jumbled. Because let me show you an example, right? If I go to Bitcoin on Coinbase, okay, now histogram too large, please increase your, give me a second. I need to put it on auto mode. So let me go back to the NQ, switch that to auto. Now I can go to Bitcoin. So if I go to Coinbase, right, all this data you're seeing, this is technically true volume, but it's only from Coinbase, one exchange, right? But there's obviously other exchanges when it comes to crypto, right? So here, 4 fine was sold, whatever. Now, if I go to Binance, it's going to give me something completely different. So Binance doesn't seem as popular as Coinbase. And then if I go to, I don't know, Kraken, right, a different exchange is going to give me different volume data because they're all separate exchanges. Do you see what I mean? So unless you combine all that data somehow from every exchange into one, which I don't, there might be something like that out there. I don't know. You're not actually, the footprint is pretty much useless for Bitcoin. Volume profile, absolutely fine because that's more time-based. But footprint, completely useless. And then the futures from the CME, again, it's such a small sliver of the Bitcoin market. You can't really base trading decisions based on what you're seeing on this data because you're not seeing the full picture, sadly. So that's the main reason I don't trade Bitcoin. I'd love to trade Bitcoin. I mean, don't get me wrong. What an instrument, but it is what it is, right? I'll do that. Can you show your footprint settings? How many ticks per row on footprint? My numbers seem to be so small. Is there a setting? Okay, 1 second. I just got loads of, are you looking at news? Yes, so there's news coming out in like 13 minutes. So I'm pretty much just avoiding news. That's my strategy when it comes to news. Benjamin, trading ES Micro right now with a 50K account. Excellent stuff. Micros all the way. I'm glad to hear it. How many ticks per row on the footprint? My numbers seem to be so different. Yes, good question. So I actually have it usually set at manual. At the moment, right now for NQ, I got it set at 24. Okay, but that changes all the time. Like if you look at pre-market, when the volatility was kind of, I mean, it's just not as active, right? I would probably drop this maybe to 16, just so each cluster it just looks a bit better. Because here you're barely, I mean, you're getting 2 clusters per candle essentially. It's not as good, right? You want a few clusters per candle to kind of get a good idea. And then on the open, because it's woken up and it's moving a lot more, you want to make that a bit higher. So that really adjust it depending on how volatile the market is, right? And whatever just looks kind of nice to read for your eyes. That's the only thing that matters, right? If you can read it like this really well, great, use that. If you want the clusters a bit bigger so you can kind of read the bigger numbers better, make it bigger. Entirely up to you, essentially. All right. Can you show your footprint settings, Nikki? Absolutely. So like I just said, ticks per row, that is adjustable depending on the volatility. I've got it as cluster rather than profile, and the type I have delta. I don't add the gradient. The gradient kind of messes with my eyes. I don't know. So that's a weird thing for me. Maybe some people like the gradient. I personally don't like it. Value area got switched off, point of control off, and then I have it set as a table with delta percent, and the session cumulative volume delta, and the rest is all just off, essentially. So very, very simple. And we've just tapped into that area real quick. We're just tapping into it to a potential area where I could short from. Now, this is the kind of medium zone area. This is like what I explained. It wasn't really that, doesn't look that nice on the volume profile. It's a very minor kind of dip in volume. But if the footprint shows me something, I may take it. So we'll see what happens as we kind of get a bit into that area. Me too. First time with you. I like your vibe. Thank you, Mikey. Thank you. Volume profile, lower time frame, full video. Oh, you're requesting a video. Yeah, I can do like a 1 minute time frame volume profile, but it's essentially no different to what I'm doing on the 15 minute. You're just doing it on the 1 minute. But you're just gonna have to be a bit more selective with what you choose. Okay, so this is looking really interesting, really quick. We're seeing that volume starting to spike on the buy side, right? So now we want to look how effective the volume is. So far, the buyers are pretty effective. They're pushing this up very nicely, right? So you don't want to be trading against them just yet. You don't want to be, this is definitely no short right now, right? I mean, they're super effective right now. They're just blowing right through. But okay, we've got a bit of sell, but instantly they're getting absorbed a bit. Now sellers are slowly trying to trickle in. You could front run a really small trade here, right? I personally, if this was my cash account, I wouldn't enter. I'll enter on the Ola Prime account as an example of front running. Personally, if this was real money, I wouldn't be doing this just yet, because what I would want to wait for, when you're front running, you can literally then have a stop just above, where those sellers entered, because you're expecting sellers to enter. They have entered. They were slightly effective, but you see how buyers are slowly starting to really battle here, but they're slowly starting to fail. That's now another good sign that it actually might drop a little bit, because buyers are starting to struggle. They really went quite heavy and still were struggling. So now you're expecting some kind of, sell pressure to come in heavy to really squeeze out some of these buyers for a bit of a move down potentially. But you want to see it go red. You want to see some real actual sell volume come in before you really kind of, okay, this is quite a nice move. But that 200 that was printed, that went up all the way to 400 on the buy side, dropped back down to 200. So there was true sell pressure coming in. So overall, it's not terrible, right? And then you really want to have your finger on flatten, because you are really trading against some heavy buyers here. If the seller starts struggling, you really just kind of want to take your money out. Hopefully there's a bit more of extension. Maybe we can get back down to like here somewhere. But essentially, you want to be super cautious when you're doing trades like this, because you are going against, the mass majority of volume. You're really just looking for a slight squeeze at most. You're not looking for like a big extensive move, anything like that. But you can see sellers are starting to fail slowly, right? Like this 180, they're just not really able to get much more down. We'll give them another few seconds. Maybe they can find a bit more volume and push it down. But they're getting eaten up a little bit, but they're still not terrible. That they still have a bit of oomph in them. But instantly going back into the buyers, I would pretty much be looking to flatten and probably get out. There's just too many. It's probably not going to last much longer. It's probably going to fail around here. And now the buyers are pushing it up, and that's it. So you really got to read it, in real time if you're doing those kind of very quick scalpy trades, right? You got to be careful when you're trading against such heavy momentum. But you can absolutely, grab a few points here and there, scalping like that. The better play, though, is definitely when you're in quite a heavy, like, trending market. It's obviously to align yourself with the trend is the smarter play, and you're looking for pullbacks into kind of gaps that are kind of somewhat significant, and you're looking for, like we've got a tiny gap here, but it's so high up, it might hold, to be fair. Technically, we're in a gap. The smarter play would be, it's such a high up gap though. It's hardly a retracement. So even then, I would be kind of a little bit about buying it. then you would really just want to hawk the footprint and see if there's, if it shows you something really crystal clear for the buy side, then maybe going for a buy. I wouldn't want to, because this is hardly a retracement. There's only a few points, right? But sometimes that's all it gives you, the NQ, especially the NQ. If it's on a very strong kind of trend day, that's all it gives you sometimes, a few points of a retracement. It's very shallow. But normally I would be a bit cautious buying into, I mean, technically the play would be to buy because we created a gap and we're come back into it and there should be a continuation up. That's usually the play. It's just, it hasn't. All right, that's looking quite good right there. This right here, I want to keep your eye on this. This 150 of sellers that tried to push it down failed. Buyers instantly coming above them. We're trading above them. That looks quite decent. Now, if we can kind of close and stay above them, which it looks like we might not, but for a few seconds there, that wasn't looking terrible for the buy side there. But the sellers kind of found a little bit of a push. And we're kind of dead in the middle again. It's a bit of a battle. I'm going to sit this one out. I don't really... the buyers do come in, but they are getting absorbed. It's getting squeezed into a really kind of narrow area right now. Nah, I'm going to sit this one out for now. Oh, let me look at some of these comments real quick. Buy Bit exchange is best for order flow for Bitcoin. Gold is so different to trade. Almost $100 swings in a few minutes. What is going on? Gold lately is mental. Absolutely mental. I would genuinely be quite scared to trade gold. I just checked Lucid Discord channel, and in their announcement, UAE is not there. So I guess UAE is not affected. Well, that's good news. So which countries are affected out of interest? Wispyhem, been long on MNQ since 8:03 a.m. UK using volume profile and delta bubbles. Amazing stuff, man. You're holding through that really well. That's incredible. Good stuff, man. Lewis, yeah, I saw that too. It's weird. Some prop firms added UAE, but on it wasn't added. Best case to do right now is just wait for CME announcement. That's what I would do. Yeah, wait for the CME to actually confirm. Hello, a bit late today. Hope you're all good. Peter, it's all good. Hope you're well. Your commentary is great, brother. Thank you. Benjamin, I'm looking at MNQ, Sam. Is this okay to look? Because I'm trading MNQ too. I would say if you're trading MNQ, executing MNQ, do look at the actual main NQ for the footprint. All right. If you're using volume profile, it doesn't really matter. But footprint wise, oh, look at that. Sellers did manage to overpower those buyers. But they're printing a lot of volume, but they're not really doing much damage. So I would still be very kind of cautious selling it as well. They're slowly starting to get a bit better now. But around this area, there was a little bit... It kind of became very 50-50 around here at one point. The sellers did eventually kind of, break through, and they actually are making quite a decent stride. But that's why I don't like trading really shallow gaps, right? Ones that were created really newly. Like this one's no longer a gap anymore. It's got a lot of volume in it. Technically, the gap's a bit lower now. But that's why I don't like trading the really shallow ones, because the likelihood that the retracement's only going to be a few points is usually rare. Do you know what I mean? I'm looking. Oh, I saw that. Hi, Sam. How are you? I'm good, Mohi. How are you? Is yours on 24 ticks? Mine is different to yours. Footprint. It's 24 ticks per row. Manual. Make sure row is manual, not auto. Okay. How do you manage your risk to reward ratio? I mean, every time the lot size needs to be different to keep the risk constant. How do you do that so fast? It's more, I just kind of measure like the overall point. It's not like perfect. You can use like calculators for it, but I kind of just look at the overall movement. And in my mind, I know if I've got the footprint at 24 ticks per row, I know roughly kind of the size I should be using. Now, if the footprint was at 16 ticks per row in order to look roughly how it looks before, then I know I can go a bit bigger because we're not moving that much in general. So I actually, it's just over time. I kind of have a rough idea. I know what to kind of enter with. Oh, but that gap really helped. Oh, it's 3 p.m. It's the news right now. That's why. There we go. The news just came out. But essentially, you kind of want to always kind of know. You can use an ATR for that, or you can just kind of measure an average candle. All right, it's about 28 points, and then you kind of know what your risk should be in general. Yesterday was a full moon. Did you take any trade? I did a video about, it didn't get many views, but I did a video about, there's like an indicator on TradingView, the full moon indicator or something. And I did like back testing on it. And I got to say, it had something to it. Now, I don't know, it might have been luck. It might have just been coincidence, but it actually technically was profitable. So I'm not knocking it, man. Not knocking it. Sumi Troy, platform name. TradingView. This is TradingView, man. TradingView. This low volume node you have mapped, what's the volume profile anchored from? Session starts at 6 p.m. NY time last night. Okay, so this one was anchored from literally the bottom of this move up we had. So where we moved up, I anchored it from there. Okay. So I'm always anchoring it. I'm using it like a Fibonacci tool, essentially. I'm always anchoring it from the top to the bottom, or bottom to top, depending on direction. The bigger one, the one that's, here, this is literally from the top. You can see it better on the 15-minute. From here, right at the top, all the way down to where we stopped. And this little one that we've had since we pushed up is, bottom to top. And I trade them differently, right? So this bigger one, since we're trading up into it, I'll be looking for more likely to short it, right? As we get to these kind of gaps. Unless we break through them, right, and come back on the other side and continue, then I'll be looking to buy it, right? Now on this one, on this push up, I'll be looking to buy. If we kind of retrace back into it, then I'll be looking to buy. Or I would only look to sell again if we broke through them, kind of did that and that. So those are the different kind of scenarios I'll be looking at, all right, with these gaps. Hope that kind of explains it. I can send you, hey Sam, how is Monday so far? Pretty good, Luca, pretty good. How's your Monday? Tally, hey man, awesome content for the fixed volume profile. Do you have any rules drawing it or just significant price leg? Pretty much significant price leg. I don't really have any fixed rules. I kind of just look at the overall market and then, yeah, we push down. I'll draw it from the top to bottom. We're starting to push up. I'll draw it from the bottom to the top and look, as I explained, look for, continuation trades on that, looking for rejections on this one. And all it tells me is essentially something will probably happen as we get to one of these zones. The likelihood is when we're below, we're more likely probably going to reject a bit for a scalp, but it doesn't have to. It can blow right through and then come back on the other side and continue. Then I just really want to only look at the footprint when we're in one of these zones to kind of decide what might happen, and then I'll trade it. But that's essentially it. Oh yeah, here's the list of countries. There we go. Thank you for that, Thomas. Much appreciated. Okay, I'm looking at main NAS 100. Benjamin, just remember NQ, right? If it says NAS 100, I mean, here it says Nasdaq 100, but make sure it says CME, right? If you're using the footprint. Okay, any kind of CFD pair, it's going to give you just tick data and it's a load of rubbish, right? Just make sure it's from the CME. NQ, that's the ticker name. So literally you can just click futures if you want, and then just type in NQ. It's the first one, CME. That's the one you want to use, right? Hello, brother. I hope you're fine. Afghan Bit, I'm good. How are you, my friend? Sammy, do you have any idea why my numbers and footprint are different than yours? Maybe some setting. Do you have the CME subscription? Did you take that one out, Anatoly? Let me show you where you would get that from. I'll just load it up for you real quick, all right? Why do you have such a big area? I mean, range for your volume profile. Do you mean like each individual bar? Like, why is it so big, each individual bar? That's just, I can just see the gaps a lot easier when it's a little bit bigger. You can change it to fit kind of what you like, but I always found 24 to be quite nice, and I just stuck with it. There's no real reason why 24. There's nothing magical about the setting. It's just my personal preference. It worked for me. Never bothered to change it really. I never felt the need to change it. That's essentially it. But I do like to have it a little bit bigger, just so I can see the clear kind of dip in volume every time, and that's pretty much it. I use deep charts. Okay. Well, different platforms will show you slightly different information for a number of reasons, especially around open. Okay, because every footprint, like the CME, doesn't actually give you the data to populate a footprint. So there has to be some kind of, every software figures it out differently, right? By the way, it did pull back. The gap moved down a bit, and then it did reject off that. But of course, we had the news, so that actually worked quite nicely. But yeah, every platform has slightly different information. Some use like continuous futures as well for all the data, so they group all the contracts together. Others use just a current contract. If you're on like a separate contract, it's going to give you a bit different data. But overall, it's best to stick to one platform. Sometimes deep charts might get it right, because it depends how. So the way it works, right, is everything comes from the CME, and the CME essentially will tell the software, right? It will say there was, one contract's bought at 28 whatever, right? Let's say here 25,736. And that was on, sorry, it wouldn't even say it was a buy or sell. It would just say it was executed on the ask side, right? And then there was another contract executed on the bid side at whatever price. Okay. Now the software obviously knows, okay, so that one was executed on the ask. That was a sell limit. That means there was an aggressive buyer, okay, who hit someone on the ask side, and it will put it down as a buy. Okay. Now, when the market moves very quickly, sometimes even the CME cannot track if it was on the ask or bid side. It might have been in the middle. It might have been a big clump of orders. It's not always going to be that smooth. So sometimes even the CME doesn't know exactly whether that was a buy or sell or where it was executed. So then the software every software calculates it differently, but they make some kind of decision process whether they will group it as a buy or a sell. So that's why sometimes on different platforms, one platform will tell you it was a buy, another will tell you it was a sell, and the data can change ever so slightly. But while that is kind of annoying, and sometimes one platform might be correct in that situation, another one might be correct in a different situation, the best thing to do is just stick to, one platform, learn it, and just trust the data. Overall, the data are usually pretty spot on. Even if the numbers are slightly different here and there, it's the overall kind of grouping that kind of matters, right? This is my first time watching your live. ZZ Trades, thank you. I hope you enjoy. Which broker you use for your cash account? Hang on, unfortunately, I can't mention that live because I'm contracted, like literally not allowed to. But it's a very big futures broker. They offer MT5. There's not many that offer MT5, so you can probably kind of figure out with a bit of Googling who it is. But, you know, if it's a futures broker, or it doesn't matter which broker you really go to. Futures brokers are all regulated. They're all very kind of pretty good. So, yeah, I wouldn't worry too much. Is it possible to backtest this on TradingView? Footprint stuff, not really. Footprint, unfortunately, you can't really backtest very well because you really need to look at the live numbers moving, right? Volume profile, 1,000,000%. Yeah, you can backtest volume profile. That's absolutely fine. Do you use trade volume profile cliff nodes or only low volume nodes that have higher volume on either side? Great question. So I kind of add that a little bit. Like if I see like a really, you know, like I can't give an example here, but maybe on the 15-minute, one moment. Like if I see like a really sudden, you know, dip, like a cliff, right? Drop, and it happens to also be like a low volume node trapped sandwich between, I'd put a bit more emphasis on it, on that area. But essentially, I'm only ever looking for the sandwiched kind, right? Because what the sandwich kind tells me is that there were, like in this case, because we moved down, there was probably a lot of sellers at some point here, which, you know, we can kind of see there was. And then it's kind of like a breakout, which is what we had. And there was obviously a big aggressive seller that gapped the market very quickly. That's why the volume dropped. And then more people all started rushing in to sell, or a lot of people got stopped out, whatever. And that's why the volume increases again a bit and the market goes down. So that's why that kind of sandwiched pattern is what I really look out for, because it shows a particular type of event that happened, which is kind of what I want to look out for, right? So I hope that kind of makes sense. There's so many questions. How did you define those rules in the moon strategy video? Like the rule that tells you I just made it up as I went along. It was more of a joke video. I mean, don't actually watch that video and use that in real trading. That was just an absolute joke video. I was just messing around. But you know, if you can find an edge with the moon indicator, by all means, man, go for it. Which low volume nodes perform best? The ones which price never tested before? Do you have any other rules? If it hasn't tested it before, yes, then I'm even more interested in it. Absolutely. If it's never been tested. And the ones that are more extreme, right? Like just and here's the only way you can do that is just by using your eyes, essentially. This is the most extreme one, right? You can just kind of tell. It's the lowest volume node, like the low volume node is very low. And the ones above and below it are a lot bigger. Whereas compared to this one, still technically, you know, a lower volume node than the ones above and below, but it's really not that extreme, right? This one's not too bad as well, but again, it's not that extreme. You can just, they stick out. Like the best ones really just kind of stick out. Like that one, clear as day. You can just see that drop off in volume. It's really low volume, and then the volume increases again. And then you can add extra emphasis to see, has it ever worked before? Has there ever been rejection before on it? Well, we had rejection here, you know, when we were above it. Great. And then again, it has actually worked before. We had another rejection again here. I'm pretty happy that this volume node is going to do something when we get there, right? There's a good chance when we get there, it's probably going to drop a little bit. Not saying it's going to reverse the market, not saying it's going to be a whole new downtrend, but enough for a scalp, right? You're gonna have, there's a good chance you're gonna have a very good trade there. So like very high probability chance you're gonna have a good trade on that area. So it all just kind of lines up, right? Whereas this one that we had here, and this is the maybe zone, I said, it looks pretty shit in terms of, like, it doesn't look that good, right? And it got traded through a few times. Yes, there was a little bit of rejection here and there, but it traded through again, bit of rejection here. And then bit of rejection here again. It's kind of a bit hit and miss, this one. It's not really, so I'm not going to, go all in and be very confident in that area. I mean, I still took a small trade, but you saw I was very, very cautious. The moment I thought, nah, instantly out. I'm not expecting much. And we didn't really get that much in that area, right? Like on the 1 minute, yes, there was a little bit of a pullback. You got a tiny scalp, but if you missed it, it's really not the end of the world. It's hardly a great area. Thanks. Trying to forward test your thesis on how to trade low volume nodes in terms of resistance versus support. Basically anchor the volume profiles from local swing highs and swing lows. Exactly, Nazir. Perfect. Yes, rhythmic. Okay, yes, you're talking about the yeah. I waited all weekend looking for your vids to drop. I didn't see any. Sorry, Mo. Sorry. They are coming. I there's like 1,000,001 things I do, for Ola Prime as well. And then they are coming. I promise you. Like I have to make so many because I'll be away. I'll be away. Funnily enough, in Dubai, on the 10th of February. There's an expedition, a financial expedition, IFX or something it's called. I'll be there. So if anyone is actually in Dubai between, I think it's the 11th to 12th of Feb, it's the expedition. If you guys are going to that, anyone going there, I'll be there. So if you see me, say hello, man. Be good to meet you. But I'll be gone for that week, basically. So unfortunately, I won't be live streaming on that week. But I want to have content to upload during that week. So I'm kind of like trying to make loads of content right now, not release it straight away. So I have something to release actually on the week where I literally will not be able to make anything. Do you know what I mean? But I will get something out this week. I promise you. Do you always wait for clear absorption before entering? On my cash account, 100%. Like I don't mess around with like the real money, like the stuff that really pays me. I really wait for confirmation on that. But then again, I only take like one trade a day, maybe two if it's a really, fun day. Some days literally do not take a trade. So I'm very selective with my trades on the cash account. With prop accounts, you can be a bit more, you front run a bit, as long as you're sticking within the risk limits, you can kind of, and I think most people kind of have that way of looking at it. And I think that's absolutely fair. Because every trader, we almost need a little bit, we need to allow the kind of excitement, dopamine side to come out. And I always say, probably not best to do on a prop account, but if you have like a cash account and you can put in a bit of money into it, not a big amount of money, but you literally do not care what happens to it. If you have that kind of need to trade a bit more or when that little degenerate inside you comes out and wants to gamble a bit, use that account, like the casino account, the I don't care about it account, the whatever you want to call it, the bully account. Get your itch from that, but never risk the one that pays you. Whether that's a funded account on a prop firm, whether that's a cash account that has like, actually, you take money from. Never risk the main thing that pays you. Have the little gambling account that you can kind of mess around with, full port once in a while. Get that kind of dopamine rush if you need it. That's absolutely fine. That's essentially what I do as well. So. Because otherwise it's hard to be disciplined. Otherwise you get those bad kind of negative traits spill over in your real trading, and you don't want that happening, right? Is it possible to backtest this on TradingView replay footprint? Sadly not. This is I don't know why they don't allow it. But at this moment in time, as far as I'm aware, you can't replay the footprint, which is slightly annoying. Getting some sell on ES. Benjamin, good stuff. Niche to lead. Thanks. I saw you got ATAS on your desktop. Isn't it better for volume analysis? Yeah, I've barely used it, to be honest. I tried it out once. I mean, this is like really old. I don't have the subscription anymore, but I'm always trying new platforms out, just playing around with it here and there. But I actually like TradingView. I'll be honest. I like TradingView. I like how simple it is. I love that it's cloud-based. All I got to do is take my laptop with me. Anywhere in the world, then I can just literally go to tradingview.com. I can even like load it up on my phone. Not that I trade on my phone, but you can see the footprint on your phone. Like, how insane is that, right? Like, I'll show you right now. Like, it's nuts. Like, the app, I can go into NQ, and then look, I can actually see the footprint on my phone using the app. Like, that's pretty cool, right? No other platform, as far as I'm aware, can ever allow you to do that. I kind of like that. And I think they're going to be the biggest and best in the future. Not yet. They're definitely not the best yet. 100% not. But give them a few years, I think TradingView will dominate order flow. They'll dominate every charting version there is, basically. They're the kings of charting. I find drawing the volume profiles on RTH more accurate. Me, oh, look at all these chats. I stay in Dubai. Oh, Thomas, so if you're going to that expo, definitely find me in the crowd. I'll be there somewhere. I'll be walking around all day. Just tap me on my shoulder. It's fine. You can interrupt me, whatever. No big deal. All right. Don't be afraid to come up to me. It'll be awesome to meet any of you if you're there. I've had a nice entry, but didn't have the balls to hold, and now I'm up like crazy. It's all good. It's all good. How do you use footprint on support resistance levels, decide going long or short? Could you please imagine we entered a buy or sell trade here live and see the results? It will help us big time. Mohi. Okay. The thing is, I can explain it, but if it doesn't happen here, it'll be very hard to kind of show it, right? That is the next video I'm making, by the way. Okay. All right. So imagine right now you go short. Okay. Imagine right now we've entered short. Now, what you would want to see is absorption. Okay. Absorption means that there is a big, so in this case, if you're going short, all right, you're betting against the buyers. That would mean there's a big, sell limit in the book passively, sitting and absorbing all the people hitting buy, right? So you see here how we have relatively high numbers on the buy side, right? They're not huge, but let's just say this was even bigger. Let's say this was like 400, something really big, right? Big numbers on the buy side, but the market just refused to go up, couldn't go up. And you saw this happen in real time, not just how it closed, but in real time, right? So imagine right now, this is like 300 on the buy side, and the buyers keep trying to push it up, but it's just not working. And then they add another 50. So it goes to 350, and then it goes to 400, and it's still doing that. And it's not going any higher. That's true absorption, because that means there is someone right there on the book as a sell limit, just absorbing all those buyers, right? That's stage one, absorption. Now, the market's not going to go down just based on absorption. Absorption will only stop the market in its tracks, right? It will never actually move the market up or down, okay? The only way the market could ever move down would be aggression. So now the next kind of step you're looking for is to see sell aggression. So you're looking for, big numbers, lots of sellers coming in, and these numbers increasing on the sell side and actually moving down, not just staying flat, but moving down. Like the candle is moving as the sell numbers come in. Does that make sense? So you see how it went to 17 now and to 3. That means there was more buyers coming in, but it went to 37 and went up and the candle pushed down a bit. That means the sellers are actually able to move it down right now. Granted, not a lot, it's small numbers, but if you see that on the bigger scale, that's okay, aggression, and they're effective. That's stage 2. That now you know that the sellers are aggressive, buyers are getting absorbed. That's pretty much all you need to enter a trade, right? That's essentially all you're looking for. But I will make a very in-depth video really breaking that down and how to spot it, right? ES1 volume footprint is very clear to me. Excellent, Benjamin. That's the one, man. That's the one. Do you trade on Mac? What's your trading? I unfortunately, no, I don't trade on Mac. I've got a Windows. I do have like a MacBook Pro, but this is going to sound really stupid. Maybe someone here can actually help me, but I haven't plugged it in like maybe a year. And every time I plug it in now, it just won't charge. Like it won't switch on. It's just like the battery's depleted. So maybe I need to get the battery, but I don't really care about it. I've hardly used it. 50K challenge account with a 2,000 max loss. What risk do I have to do? Challenge account, you can kind of be a bit more reckless if you're willing to accept the fact that you're probably going to fail a few. But if you want to get to the funded stage quickly, no one's going to beat you up if you decide to, go a bit higher on the risk so you can pass that challenge quick, get to the funded stage. But say it's a funded account, because otherwise, if you're treating it, really good risk rules, it's going to take some time for you to pass that challenge, right? If you're happy with that, great. But if you want to kind of speed the process up and get to the funded stage, if you're willing to buy maybe 3 or 4 challenges, except you're probably going to lose 3 of them, but you will probably pass 1 and get to the funded stage. If you're happy with that, that's another tactic, right? But when you're funded, NQ, I would say like 2 micros maximum. You're really only looking to make like $100, maybe $200 a day on a few trades. If you don't hit that target, it's no big deal. If you make $40 on one day, $150 on another, lose 70 on one day, you're really looking for those kind of numbers on a 50K account. That way you'll never blow the account. I promise you'll never blow the account, but it will always pay you something. And then you get another one and you get another one. Do you see what I mean? Build up the capital. That's the true way of making money. Don't try and squeeze big percentages out of one account. Squeeze a small percentage out of each account, but big, lots of accounts. That's where the money comes from, right? Can you show us Friday NY session volume profile? I can do, yeah, absolutely. I'll go 15-minute for it. So Friday would be here. NY session started about here. So really, I mean, it would be pointless now, the NY session volume profile Friday. But that's how it would look like. There was a tiny little gap here. That was earlier on. We kind of rejected a little bit. That's actually where I took that short trade. But it didn't really produce much, the Friday session. But it's just a random small leg down, I guess. You might as well include more of the leg all the way up and get the full scope of the volume profile. I wish I had an option for it not to be cloud-based. The data and ticks, it is a bit skewed because of that reason. Yeah, I mean, cloud-based, there are going to be a bit of calculation differences and stuff, but overall, it's not terrible. I think, like, here's another gap it's just been made, right? As we pushed up, we've created that gap. So if we get back into it, it's actually more here. I can barely draw this. What's going on? What is going on? Oh, there we go. Yeah, if we kind of go back, retrace back into here, there'll definitely be a nice buy, in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, I love TradingView. I just once heard that the volume footprint on TradingView isn't accurate, but maybe that was just without CME data, it's going to be completely inaccurate. But that comparison can be done on pretty much every software. Every software will show you a little bit different data. So which one is truly accurate? Do you know what I mean? It's whether like the overall scope is somewhat accurate. That's kind of what you're looking for. NQ keep bullish. Yes, Paco. Trader, I hope the futures market would last that long. I will. I surely will. Awesome, Thomas. Come on, peeps, hit that like button. Give Sam some love. His channel's awesome. Thank you, Peter. And yeah, if you guys could take a minute, or not even a minute, a couple of seconds to hit that like button, that does really help me out. I would appreciate it. My question is that volume footprint? Yes, this is the volume footprint. It is the volume footprint summit. If you want to know how to set it up, there's a video on my channel. I explain it. It's called How to Set Up the Volume Footprint on TradingView. You'll see it. In that video, could you please video clips from the live market, the stage one? Yeah, 100%, 100%. On all those, like any footprint video, I'll pretty much do live market moving forward because, like I said, most of it is reading it in real time. Once it's closed, you can get an idea, but you don't get the full picture. You kind of do have to read the footprint in real time to really, really read it properly. I can't believe it, but I'm 1 minute candle ahead of you here in Cape Town. Oh, that's probably just a lag on the stream, Mikey. But if you are 1 minute ahead, call me right now. Tell me exactly what you see 1 minute ahead, and I will just place an order through my broker 1 minute into the future. We will make billions, literal billions, if if that was true. I mean, I hope it's true. That would be incredible. Niche bookmap thoughts. Do you use it? Bookmap, yeah. I've played around with it. It wasn't really my thing, but people swear by it. Well, and a lot of it's personal preference. That's really what it comes down to. That's why I'll say, try a few different ones out. See which one just kind of vibes with you, what feels good. That's really all that matters, But all the major ones that you're going to be able to do trading and trade order flow, regardless of the platform, essentially. It's just what feels good for you, what looks good for you, what works, because a lot of it's to do with your eyes, and that's essentially it. Which ones of your live videos have live trading explanation? I want to see your trading live and explaining. So far, I believe you're the best teacher on YouTube. Thank you, Mohi. I think on any video, no, I haven't done anywhere where I've done the footprint live. I've only done trade recaps of trades I've taken live and then recapped it going back, or live stream. Literally the live streams itself. Obviously, like when I'm in a trade, I explain what I see. But I will be doing footprint videos live, and they will come out very soon. Mythic Trader, good to see you. How are you? Thank you. Maybe 10 to 15 trades, maybe 10 to 15 live trades. An explanation would be great. Absolutely, Mohi. I'll get onto that. How was your trade? I just exited my long at 25,905. Amazing stuff. I had a small little scalp trade, nothing major. I'm still waiting for this retracement to play out so I can potentially go long down here, or go a lot higher and get into this area so I can short it. But that's essentially my game plan right now. For trading XAU USD using TradingView footprint, we can't use CME, right? We have to make data more accurate. Yeah, you can't. XAU USD is CFDs. If you want to use the footprint, you have to use GC, and it will be under something called COMEX, which is part of the CME. All right. So this is the gold footprint. You'd want to use this data. All right. As long as it says COMEX, whatever you want to call it, that's the one you want to use. All right. But if you're using like anything that says basically XAU, that's CFDs. So GC is gold futures. All right. Morning, Sam. Holy Earth. Morning to you. Means how to enable this volume footprint. So please show. Summit. It's a bit of a process to enable it because you have to upgrade your trading view. You have to get the CME data. I can't really show you the full breakdown right now, but essentially the footprint is in a chart. It's a type of chart, if you have the TradingView Premium, you will have access to it, and then you need to get the CME data, which if you go to, tradingview.com, and you scroll right to the bottom, let me just do that real quick. You will see CME Group Futures. You want to click on that. And from there, you can subscribe to the CME actual data. Okay, you subscribe, and then you have access to all the data, etc. Okay, but like I said, there's a video on my channel. It literally walks you step by step. So watch that video. It's about 20 minutes long, but you'll know how to do it by the end of it. Okay. Is top of the book COMEX data enough, or market data is required for GC? How is it different from rhythmic data? It comes from the same exchange. It's the same thing essentially. Top of the book and like level 2 and stuff, that's more down to the depth of market, right? So this is level 2 essentially. You get the full kind of depth of market. That usually comes from your broker then. But for like the footprint, if you're just using the footprint, yeah, just the standard, GC footprint, as long as you got a CME data feed of some kind, that's all good. How about ATAS? ATAS, again, not a bad program, good program. Try it out, see if it vibes with you. Let's all move to Cape Town for 1 minute edge over other traders. I wish. Can you imagine that? Edwin, hi Sam. I like to take as my major key levels among the previous day high and low, etc. Also volume profile over previous sessions and overnight combined. And I see that 25,900 bounces exactly at my value area high. 25,900 bounce at your value area. Oh, very nice. That's awesome. Edwin, you're absolutely right. Do you keep an eye on these as well in combo to your low volume nodes? Truth be told, I don't. But that's just not because it wouldn't work, but then there'll just be too many different areas everywhere, right? I think it's quite important to stick to one way, however you find your areas and zones. A lot of people, like this is a volume, this is a point of control from the whole leg down, right? Where we're bouncing off as well, right? This is the point of control from, this whole move down. You can also look at, simple support and resistance, like, highs and lows. You can look at value areas. There's so many different ways of breaking which areas are interesting. I simply use the low volume nodes, but if I add every single one, my chart will just be a sea of areas, and I truly wouldn't know whether I want to buy or sell. Everything will just be a bit too much. So just stick with one, except sometimes it's going to be wrong. Sometimes it'll be right. As long as you got an edge. Do you know what I mean? Hey, Sammy, new to the channel, like what I see. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it. Hope you're sticking around and keep watching. Awesome to have you here. I'm struggling of these trading platform DX futures. Hope it's like yours, Sam, that has ultimately dragged this stop loss. Yeah, DX futures is a bit different. DX futures, you have to manually enter not manually enter it, but so DX futures, the way it would work. So I'll do this with 1 micro on Project X so you can kind of see what I mean. So if I enter a buy now, right? If I want to set a stop loss for this buy on DX futures, unfortunately, you can't drag. I know that would be too easy, right? So you have to manually right click wherever you want your stop loss. Say you want your stop below here. Because it's a buy trade, my stop loss will have to be basically a stop sell, right? Sell stop. Sorry, I'm so confused now. Yeah, it will be a sell stop. So I'll put a sell stop there, and then you can drag it. That's how DX futures works, right? And your take profit will be a sell limit, right? So limit sell will be your take profit, and then you set however you want it, right? That's how you do it with DX futures. It's a bit, I know, it's a bit old school, but once you got it set, then you can drag it however you like, right? Because look, if I put this sell limit, now that it's been executed, I'm out the trade. But then I have to remember to also cancel this trade. Otherwise, if we get down there, it's going to sell the market. That's essentially how you do it with DX futures. I know it's not the best system, but it is what it is. But like I said, Ola Prime, we are coming out with Ninja Trader and Trader of 8 very soon. Hopefully really, really soon. It's so close. And then all will be good for anyone who doesn't want to use DX futures. I wish I could put this on MT5 so it would be easy for me. Yeah, I get it, man. I get it. I don't see any additional benefit by looking at passive orders. And that is the only additional thing provided in market depth. So I think I should go with COMEX top of the book. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. For the most part, the depth of market, I really don't look at it. Like sometimes I'll keep an eye like, oh, there's 104 a bit higher up at 908. So what the hell's that 908? Why there's 104? So was it 908? Yeah, it was 908. Where is 908? So if I draw a line at 908, somewhere here. Oh, okay. It's the most recent high. There's 104 sell limits. It doesn't take a lot of it's very obvious why there's a bunch of sell limits at 908. It's take profit, right? Anyone who bought down here, they set their take profit at 908 at the last high, around that kind of area. It's simply a take profit because anyone buying setting a take profit is a sell limit, right? So that's but you kind of figure that out anyway. You don't really need a depth of market to kind of know that there's going to be a bunch of take profits at highs and lows. Like that's just so I kind of agree with you. The depth of market, it's good to have, I guess, but I wouldn't put that much emphasis on what you see because most of it, when you do see something big, 9 times out of 10, it's spoofing anyway. So it never actually sticks or holds. How do you trade on point of controls? You can see big buy and sell orders there to see where big players want to move the market. Point of control is literally just consolidation, right? That's literally all the point of control is. Every time the point of control is consolidation. You go to any point of control of any time, I almost guarantee you it's just where the market consolidated the most. So this point of control is because of this consolidation here. We consolidated for, from 11:45 all the way to 5 o'clock. That's like 7 hours or something, 6-7 hours of essentially consolidation. That's why it's the point of control. It literally doesn't really mean that much other than that's where the market spent the most amount of time. Don't put too much kind of like, oh, this got to mean that because it's high volume, there's got to be loads of big buyers and sellers. If anything, it just means that's where people couldn't agree on price. Not couldn't agree, but it just went flat. It was either very balanced, the market. There was a big fight in the market. It could be that, equally buyers and sellers are both fighting each other a lot. So it goes up and down. Could have been accumulation. Absolutely. I think there's always a bit of accumulation in the market on consolidation, but it just means consolidation. That's all the point of control means. So I use it more as take profits. Like if I was in a buy down here more longer term, I would probably get out at the point of control because there's a good chance at the point of control price is going to stop and go sideways. And if we look, we hit the point of control of that move and look what's happened. We've just gone sideways again. That's literally all that happens pretty much. Sometimes, yeah, don't get me wrong, it can reject off the point of control, it can bounce away. Sometimes it can just go right through it and pretend it wasn't there. Rarely, but sometimes it does do that. But for the most part, it just consolidates. So I use it more as kind of take profits if I'm going to use it for anything, but I wouldn't be looking at entering at the point of control because that just means, to me personally, it means chaos, right? It's consolidation. I don't want to be in consolidation. I hate consolidation. Yeah, totally understand. How did you prove your edge to yourself? Live trading for months with the live footprint? Essentially, yeah. One thing I did do with the footprint is screen record it because to really learn the footprint, sadly, and this really does suck, you kind of just have to stare at it. Stare at it, look at the numbers develop. You have to kind of do that. And for me, I didn't have the patience to stare at it all the time. So what I did a lot of the time was more at key areas, not just at random points, but more at key areas. I would screen record. So I'd screen record this, put it on auto, obviously, so it moves along, leave it for a couple of hours, come back, end the screen record, and then rewatch it. And I can slow motion it. I can, go forward frame by frame. I can kind of, play it back how I like and really look what happened. If you're looking at like right now, 17 buyers came in, instantly -6. We dropped down a bit. Buyers came back in. We were not really going up. Maybe it's going to go down for a bit because buyers weren't able to push it up. Oh, look, but then do you see what I mean? And I would try and find like what generally holds true on the footprint, what generally doesn't. And I found that it's the efficiency that matters, big numbers and lack of efficiency or high efficiency. So like in that small example right there, if we saw it in real time as we just watched, buyers, it went back down into the sell side, it dropped down a little bit, buyers came back in, but it didn't actually go green, it didn't push up at all, even though buyers came in a little bit. Chances are buyers were very inefficient here, sellers were able to push it down a little bit. Now don't get me wrong, it's only a small move. We're talking, these were only small contracts, so it's not going to have a big impact overall in the market. But if that happened on a big scale, like 400 contracts, now you're like, oh, this is big. This is interesting, right? So yeah, screen record, watch it back. Really, really helpful. Have you got a one-on-one with anyone 12:30 tomorrow? I think someone did book actually. I haven't looked at the calendar, but I did see a booking come through. Let me have a look. I'm assuming that's you, Mikey Mike. Yes, we do. Michael, I'll be looking forward to it. So awesome stuff. Do you have Discord or else? I've got a Discord section within Ola Prime's Discord. So if you go to olaprime.com, join our Discord, there's a section, like a channel within Ola Prime's Discord, which is like my section of Ola, of the Discord. Does that make sense? Hi, Sammy. I'm new to this channel and love your content. Thank you. I'm thinking of switching from Forex to futures market. Which broker do you recommend for the UK? Unfortunately, I can't. I would love to tell you, but I can't really recommend a broker due to being employed by Ola Prime. I can't say it. But what I will say is, if they're a futures broker, you can pretty much trust them, because the cool thing about futures is that you don't give the money to the broker. It goes to a fine. So when you sign up, you enter your details, you deposit money, but you don't deposit to the broker. Here's like the broker, right? You actually deposit to a financial clearinghouse, which is completely regulated, something like Iron Beam. They basically hold your money. And at the end of the day, the broker, and the financial clearinghouse communicate with each other. They say, right, Sam placed X and X trades, this and that. They figure it all out. They know what your profit and loss is. And then if you want your money, withdraw money, you ask the financial clearinghouse, hey, I want, to withdraw X amount. They send it over. The broker never touches your money. So, and it's all very regulated. So the futures market, regardless which futures broker you use, you're secure in that respect. The only difference, the only thing you'll want to look at is what's their commission, what is their price, what is, are they competitive, what's their minimum deposit amount, and all that stuff is, or the minimum amount you got to basically, have to open an account. All that kind of stuff is all laid out on every website. So that's then down to you. But essentially, yeah, any futures broker is fine, essentially. Can you please share your footprint settings for 1 minute? Absolutely. I'll put them up. That's my footprint settings. All right. MQ, which is the link? Absolutely. The link I'll show you is www.olaprime. I've put it in the chat, olaprime.com. So we're a prop firm. That's the prop firm. I don't think it's clickable. 1 minute. Let me do this. Maybe that's clickable. I don't know. But that's, yeah, there we go. We're a prop firm. If you go to the bottom of our website. There'll be a join Discord button. Click that. And then within that, once you join the Ola Prime Discord, you'll see my little section on the side. And that will be kind of my area, essentially. All right. Air, I hope you got those settings. And then if I scroll down under the table, I use delta percent, and session CVD. All right. Really, really easy. Also, for anyone who is interested in any, what do you call it, challenge from Ola Prime, if you use the code SAM25, you can get 25% off if you're thinking about buying. Save yourself 25%. Okay, that retracement's happening now. So woohoo! It's happening. Good stuff. So hopefully, okay. Give me 2 seconds. So up next, in about 10 minutes time, I'll be going live and trading gold on Ola Prime TV channel, right? It will be on YouTube, obviously. The channel's called Ola Prime TV. I'll be sending the link in a minute. And I've just been told, so Ola Prime is going to be giving away a $25,000 futures account. So they'll be giving away in that stream to one of you guys a $25,000 futures account. So let me just get the link for that stream for you so you can all come over. I'll be literally, as soon as this stream ends, I'll be live on that stream. All right. So should be pretty cool. Let me just try get that stream link up for you. Let's do this. There it is already. I see it. Copy, share, link, copy. All right. So this is the stream link. All right. I'll put it in the chat. If you want to know what the channel is called, it's called Ola Prime TV. I'll type it in so you can search it as well if you need. Ola Prime TV is the channel. Okay. I'll be going live in 8 minutes. I'll be over there trading gold. And yeah, I'll be doing gold on that session. So I'll be live there. And also there's a $25,000 futures account giveaway in that stream. So I'll stay here, obviously, for a few more minutes, but then this stream will end, and then I'll be over on Ola Prime TV. If you would like to join, it'll be awesome if you can join, and we can continue this awesome stream. But yeah, we are getting this pullback. We're getting very close to that area now. You can see the gap right there. It's actually quite a nice gap. I'm not going to lie. That is a decent looking gap. Okay. And remember, these gaps are usually formed because of heavy volume, right? So if we look at the actual footprint, look at that. Look at those big buyers that came in and big buyers that came in here that shot the market through that area. And that's why this gap was formed. So it's awesome, right? Which part of the Ola Prime Discord can't see? Literally on the left-hand side where all the different channels are, you'll see my name, Sami Saleh Futures. You will literally see that. All right. So hopefully we do get a trade. If we can just push down a little bit more, bit of a double top type formation. I do think it's more just a pullback, a little bit of a retracement. I don't think it's over yet. I mean, you could see from the open, the way we opened with all that buy volume, that this was going to be a bullish day. There was no question asked, and it was so effective. Yes, I can. So my volume profile settings are very, very simple. It's number of rows. Row size is set to 24. Volume can be up, down, or total, just not delta. Definitely not delta. But up, down, and total is identical, essentially. And value area is 100. Now, take a screenshot if you want. The extend right is I only switch it on if we're in that trend currently, right? So for example, since we're in this upward trend, I'm going to switch on extend right. That just saves me from having to manually keep dragging it over, right? As we keep making higher, higher and higher. But if it's like an older zone, like say, like, just this leg here, and that's all I want, then I have, extend right switched off. Because say I just want to measure this little part, not that I would ever want to measure that, but then I just want that. I turn off extend right. Okay. So that depends on whether we're currently in that trend or we're currently in that leg or we're not. I hope that makes sense. The delta on ES is interesting. Delta back down to basically even while the price is still being up like crazy. It's a bit of a divergence, and divergences are always quite interesting to keep your eye on because, yeah. I mean, what is the delta actually on the? We're very, very up on the buy side for NQ. Not massively. It's not actually that huge, but we are quite up on the buy side, to be fair. And we had this little range here, but yeah, nothing too crazy right now. But this is the pullback. We want to get back into, and this area here, I'm going to just make it a different color, just so it stands out a little bit more. And we'll see if we get some kind of heavy buying come in here to potentially push the market up again. All right, that'll be awesome. But we've got a few more minutes, then I'll be over at Ola Prime TV. Okay, so for anyone who's just tuned in, I'll be trading gold in about 4 minutes. This stream will end and I'll be over at Ola Prime TV, the channel on YouTube. I'll send the stream link again here in the chat. Where is it? What am I doing? There it is. So I'll share that link, copy, boom. I've put it in the chat there. The link I just sent, that's where I'm going to be streaming literally at 4 p.m. UK time, which is in a few minutes. I'll be live there. So tune in. I'll be trading gold. It'll be awesome. I will look at NQ as well a bit. And, I'm not going to just exclusively. I can, look at other things. I know NQ is almost ready. It's such a, you know what? We'll hold off for a little bit. Yeah, I think you're right. Because literally, as this new stream is about to get created, it starts happening. So let's have a look real quick. Maybe we can get a scalp before. Modus, I'll explain how you can do the one-on-one. Okay, but it's on Ola Prime's website. Okay, under the Futures tab, you can book sessions. So what we're seeing, to come on, dip back in. I didn't really see what happened here. Don't know if any of you guys caught that. All right, so sellers are still coming in. 80, we drop back down to 30. There's a bit of buy pressure coming in, not a huge amount. You can probably dip your toe in a little bit. This is only 1 micro. Dip your toe in a little bit. Bit of buy aggression coming in. Let's see if they're effective. They look a bit effective. They got pushed down a bit. So only 2 micros. So we're just dipping. All right, here's starting to look a bit better. 140, look at that. Back down to 100, back to 120. They're actually doing okay. Oh, no, they got absorbed. Back down to 89. They're reloading a little bit. There's definitely a fight here in this area, right? So if you have a stop, really tight, if you're front running like what I've just done here, you want a tight stop, super tight stop if you're front running, right? Let me just see the price point. 815 is the low, probably like 810 or something. You can have a super tight stop. But if you start seeing, what the hell happened to those 100 contracts? Did they just go all the way back down to 0 to 6? Okay, so this doesn't look too good now. You see how that was a lot of buyers coming in? They're starting to overpower it. But for a few seconds there, it didn't look that good actually on the buy side. But there's a bit of aggression, but they're actually struggling, the buyers. Right? Because we are expecting this area to reject There's a bit more buy pressure coming in. Your explanation of trading is so calm and straightforward. Thanks. Thank you, Peter. I appreciate it. And then hopefully, you get that extension up and, and then you just be fluid. You can target wherever the hell the highs, and then you can add a bit more as the aggression comes in and you can start riding it up now. But I do have to go over to the other stream, as annoying as this is. So guys, join me on Ola Prime TV right now. Okay. This stream is going to end. I'll drop the link again for you guys. So go ahead, click that link in the chat. Join me on Ola Prime TV. I'm going to go live literally in the next couple of minutes. I'm moving over there now. Okay. So I'll see you all there in a few seconds. Thank you, everyone.